basically it was an American friend in Oregon introduced me to some of the Chateau Ste Rieslings. That was, I think, 98. And I was quite impressed, didn't know about these wines beforehand. And that brought me to the idea to introduce my wines to Chateau Ste, to do something together, to bring the best from the old world with the new world together and to make an American Riesling. Well, at first the people thought it's crazy to release a $20 American Riesling. But Eroica showed that to the people that Riesling is a wonderful, noble grape variety, And I think with Eroica, we succeeded, to open the eyes to the people how great Riesling can be and how versatile it can be. You have to learn, especially me coming from the old world, I had to learn how the situation looks like in Washington State. It's totally different as what we have here behind me in the steep slopes and the Mosul, But over the years, we really found the right viticulture and the right vineyards, and I think also the right terroirs by going cooler and higher elevation. And we have been looking for a certain style with Eroica. We're looking for the bright citrus fruit character with a crisp acidity and a nice minerality. It was never the goal to make a German Riesling in Washington State. This experiment was always to try new things and to find out what works best for Riesling and Washington State.
All the way back to my beginning days, I started with the winery in 2003, and I had made wine the previous 17 vintages in the state of California, but I always wanted to get back to the Pacific Northwest, and my heart was always up here in Washington State. First day on the job, my very first day, my boss, Doug Gore, told me, "Welcome to Washington, Bob. And I want you to get in a car, drive 4 hours over the mountains, pick up this crazy German, and start talking and walking vineyards with Riesling." I said, okay. So I got in the car, I drove. So the minute Ernie walked off the plane with his Einsteinian hair and his personality and his smile and his gregarious nature, I said, okay, this must be the guy I need to meet. So I've been with Ernst Loosen since day 2 of the job, and literally was walking Riesling vineyards that next day. The thing that really impressed me was both his knowledge of the varietal and his knowledge of what he wanted to do both in the vineyard and in the winery, but also just the immediate bond that we developed in terms of a friendship didn't go away, and it kept going into the evenings with plenty of beer drinking as well. So I have to say, not just Eroica, but my entire Riesling kind of mentorship started and ended with Ernst Loosen, and I take that with me basically every day. We walk vineyards and make wines now for the last 17 years I've been here. I asked Ernie, what are the most important elements of really good Riesling? And he said there are 3 things, Bob: acidity, acidity, and acidity. The great thing about our climate and soils here in Washington State is we're really hot during the summer, but also in October it gets really, really cold. And the good thing about Riesling is that it's a late ripening variety. So a lot of its maturity isn't really happening until October. But I think that is the key to why we can do Riesling better than many other American regions, is that we hold on to all the natural acidity and we can develop those hang time flavors because of the late October nights. We've developed new wines for Eroica as we go. Every time I have a dinner at Ernie's house and taste something amazing out of his portfolio, we kind of say, well, I want to make that. And that's originally how the even the single berry select happened, is with the Botrytis wine that we have. And I think Ernst saw right up front that Botrytis does really well here in Washington State, so that was an evolution. I think the most exciting thing as well in Washington State in general is now that we're on our 2nd generation of figuring out what grows well where, we're able to find even better, more niche spots for Riesling. We don't plant Riesling where we plant Cabernet anymore. So we're very specific about where we think Riesling does well, and I think that bodes well for the future of Riesling in Washington State.
Riesling is so versatile. You have, and then it's automatically the next year you get Riesling is also great as a noble sweet wine. Riesling is great as a high-end dry wine. You can also do lighter fruity style wine. It is, as more you learn about Riesling, as more you want to show the versatility of this grape variety. And that is the natural evolution of this wine. And I wonder myself what we will find the next few years, you know, on different wines, you know. I mean, so you can't do it with any other grape variety. You can't twist the Chardonnay to 10 different wines, you know. Only Riesling you can do these things, you know. And that, I think, this is the beauty on this grape variety. So basically, we can produce a wine for everybody's taste, you know, with one grape variety.
The one thing we have that no other winery has really is we really own Riesling for the USA, and we take that very seriously and proudly and raise the flag. And the Eroica story and the Eroica partnership with Ernie really is the core of what we do for Riesling.